You know that feeling, right? That powerful drive inside ambitious people. It's the engine that pushes us to build, to achieve, to succeed. But what happens when that engine just overheats? Today, we're going to tackle one of the biggest challenges out there: how to balance that relentless hustle with a kind of sustainable well-being so you can keep on achieving without completely burning out. All right, first things first, let's get our terms straight. On one side, you've got the hustle. You know it, the grind, the action, that relentless drive we all tend to glorify. But on the other side, there's the glow. Now, this isn't about stopping or slowing down. It's about that deeper, sustainable fulfillment that should be powering the whole journey in the first place. So, that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? I mean, is this a zero-sum game? Do you actually have to sacrifice the glow to truly hustle? Or is there a way to have both? To be incredibly driven and deeply fulfilled at the same time? Well, let's find out.
To figure this out, we've got to get really clear on the forces that are at play here, inside our own ambition.
So what is the grind? Let's push past the cliches. It's not just about working crazy long hours. It's the daily commitment, the consistent, disciplined action you take day in and day out. It's literally the engine of your ambition. It's necessary, it's powerful, but like any engine, it needs fuel and regular maintenance.
And if the grind is the engine, well, the glow is the fuel. This is that deep sense of purpose and well-being. It's the why behind your what. It's that feeling of alignment and just vitality that doesn't come from just checking another thing off your to-do list. It comes from knowing you're on the right path for you. But what happens when that engine, the grind, is running with no fuel? That's when we hit a wall. So in this section, we're going to look at the red flags, the signs that you might be heading for burnout.
So just take a second and be honest with yourself here. Are you running on empty? It's a really simple question, but your answer reveals pretty much everything about whether your current pace is sustainable. The really dangerous thing about these signs, it's how easy it is to just brush them off as a tough week. But constant low motivation, struggling to stay consistent, noticing your physical health is taking a hit, feeling totally overwhelmed by simple daily tasks. Listen, these aren't just bad days. These are the classic textbook warning signs of burnout. Okay, so we've looked at the problem, but here's the good news. The great news, actually. This is totally solvable. So in this section, we're going to start building your very own sustainable toolkit for success. One of the biggest mistakes we make is thinking that productivity and rest are like enemies. They're not. They're partners. And the process is actually pretty simple. You schedule your focused work time. Then you prioritize your rest with that same level of seriousness. And finally, you intentionally integrate them. Rest isn't the reward for the work. It is part of the work itself. But let's be real. Even with the best schedule in the world, there's this constant battle for our attention, right? Which raises a super important question. How do you manage that endless stream of distractions, especially all the digital ones? So here are 3 super effective things you can try. First, just be honest with yourself and identify what's eating up your time. Is it scrolling through social media, constant news alerts? Then set some firm boundaries. Maybe that means time blocking or using app limits. And finally, you have to consciously create an environment that actually helps you focus. And look, this isn't just about having more willpower. It's about building a smarter system around yourself. And look, we absolutely cannot talk about a sustainable grind without talking about the foundation of it all: your physical health. This is non-negotiable. As you can see, it really rests on 3 equal pillars: getting quality sleep, proper nutrition, and regular exercise. You let one of these crumble, and believe me, the whole thing starts to wobble. All right, so we've got the daily tools down. Now let's zoom out a bit. Because true sustainability isn't just about tactics, it's about your mindset. This is your compass for playing the long game. I love this quote because it gets right to the heart of it. Think about it. Motivation is a feeling, right? It's fickle, it comes and goes. Self-discipline, though, that's a system. It's the structure you build that carries you forward, even on the days you don't feel like it. It really is the bridge that makes sure you actually get to where you want to go. Okay, here's a really interesting shift in thinking. For decades, we've all been talking about work-life balance, almost like they're 2 separate things fighting each other on a scale. But a more modern idea is work-life integration, which isn't about separation at all. It's about blending the 2 harmoniously. Now, there's no right or wrong answer here. The real question is, which one of these models actually serves you and your life better? Okay, let's talk about something we all deal with but nobody loves to admit: failure. The mindset that leads to burnout sees failure as, well, the end, a final verdict. But what if it's not the end of the road? What if it's actually a turning point in disguise? So here's a really powerful framework for turning that around. First, you have the setback, the thing that happened. But the next step is absolutely crucial: reflection. Ask yourself, what did I learn? What actually went wrong here? That analysis then allows for a conscious redirection. And that's the magic moment. That's how you turn a setback into a genuine step up. So after all this, where does it leave us? Let's bring everything together and talk about what it really means to glow every day. We always think we need this massive overhaul, right? Like a dozen new habits to change our lives. But the truth is, sometimes it all comes down to one. Just one small, consistent action, something that seems kind of insignificant at first, but it ends up creating this huge ripple effect across your whole life. So just before you wrap up, think about that. What could that one habit be for you? All right, here's a little thought experiment for you. If you could go back in time, knowing everything you know now about the grind, about burnout, about what actually matters, what is the one piece of advice you would give your younger self? Whatever that answer is, that's some serious wisdom, and you should probably be listening to it right now. And really, that's what this all boils down to. The pursuit of success can't just be about more effort. The grind, that's the vehicle. But the glow, that's the destination. The goal isn't just to work hard. It's to build a life that feels vibrant, alive, and truly fulfilling. So that leaves us with just one last, and maybe the most important question of all. This isn't about some 5-year plan. It's about right now. Based on everything we just talked about, what is one small, actionable thing you will do today to start shifting from just grinding to actually glowing?